go through, we'll start with our mindset exercise. So I can't even remember what I was listening to. Oh, it was Gabrielle Bernstein's Super Attractor book. I think that's her latest book out. And so in listening to this, she kind of made me think of something else I've also heard on another podcast. And that's about thinking like the person you want to be, right? So we'll relate this all to nutrition for this call, but obviously you can do this with anything. So I want you to think about what your nutrition struggle is, or if nutrition isn't the struggle, then maybe think of another struggle you have, something you feel that's like in your way, a bit of a roadblock. You could say something you use as an excuse, whatever it is, right? Something that's just that you think about yourself that's in the way, prevents you from wherever you want to be. Like I used to think that I had 2 babies, so that means I'm just stuck with a mom bod, right? And there is, this is just the way it is. There's just not, you're just not ever gonna like kind of get back to whatever you think looks good. Or I used to think I loved food too much. I'm not gonna be able to lose weight well or easily or keep it off because I love food too much. So what are things that like you feel like is your block, your thing? If anybody wants to share, you don't have to share.
I'll tell you what growing up, my mom always said, our family has big hips. You will always have big hips and you will never lose that weight there, which is a big fat effing lie. And so it was the wrong message to send.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I understand what she was trying to say, that you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't worry about it. But it was totally the wrong message to send.
Right.
And so when I learned about fitness and, taking care of myself and getting healthy and working out daily and, drinking my Shakeology and eating a balanced meal, because I didn't know anything about that. That was a big eye opener of, oh, big hips. Yes, I might have, bigger bones or wider bones or whatever. And especially since having 2 kids, but that doesn't mean that I have to have huge hips and, I can still be fit and healthy but, not consider myself big hips.
Right.
So.
Right. And strong AF, right? I mean, like yeah. I mean, your body is doing so many things. So now let's take that piece, right? The thing you think kind of holds you back. And in the recording, if anybody wants to share this in the comments, this would be great too. So think about someone, like, is this something where you see someone else has conquered it, right? So I had a friend who would also have treats, would also eat what she wanted, but she was skinny. And I'm like, okay, like, why is she so different from me, right? And maybe you think their circumstance is different or unlike yours, yet they're still accomplishing whatever you don't think you can accomplish. Is that making sense? If there's that person there that you see that you think, oh, well, they did it, but I still can't do it. So then we're going to transition into, how do you think they think about the thing, right? So if it's food, like if we're talking about food related, she still ate the same foods I would eat, but she ate them in different quantities, right? So she was getting less calories, and she maybe didn't think about food in the same way. Maybe she stopped before she overate. Maybe she still ate the same types of foods, but she didn't overeat those foods. Or maybe I didn't see the times when she would, not or have vegetables instead of not having something, right? I wasn't there for all the meals. But so it's think about how this person that has achieved what you want or think you can't have, and how they would think about things. Because then when you're going into, I feel like this is really convoluted. It was much simpler in my head. But then when you go to think about things, how would they do it? Right? Would they still, like when it's food related or overeating, would they still go have the extra plate, or would they stop when they're done? And it's changing the mindset that it's not that you can't have things. It's that you have things in reason with whatever you're doing, whatever your plan is. Like, it's not that Lily has to shave off her hips, right? She works out in a way that she is excited about what her body can do. And she's changed her thinking about her body as strong and capable and beautiful, versus I'm not, this size and this person over here. So it's like taking what you can be with you, but also transitioning your thinking to say, maybe I've been thinking about it wrong. Maybe it's not that I can't have those things because I'll gain weight, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, but maybe I just need to think about them differently, or not think about them. Sometimes we need to like not think about the food all the time. Like, I am a chronic, like, have to have snacks with me, but I'm over it now. Like, I leave the house a lot of times and I didn't bring food because I've told myself I'm not a toddler, right? 2, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. If I really get hungry, I can stop and get something somewhere. I don't have to have this like backup food everywhere I go. I don't have to rely on it all the time. So I feel like I really went in a weird circle and on a train track that didn't quite line up here. But the point being is that it's like whatever you're thinking about yourself, thinking you can't do, we have to kind of twist it and say, what if I can, right? What if I just need to think about it in a different way? And how would the person that's already doing it think about this? And switching our thoughts, because you're not going to go magically from I hate my body to I love my body, or I obsess about food to food doesn't matter to me, right? There's all these little steps in between, little thoughts that you change as you're going through your day to feel like you're gaining traction on it. Like you just kind of tweak it a little bit each time. Like, okay, I went out, I didn't have a snack with me, and I survived. Right? So I can do that again. I can keep not having to have each thing revolve around food, or not be obsessed with the fact that I'm not whatever size, or I'm not, this is just not how my body is. But it's still an amazing body and the best body I've got. Okay, so was that like totally way, or did it make sense? Did it come back around?
It makes sense, but is anybody else's brain kind of going like thinking all different directions? Because I know mine is. So one of my thoughts is what if that person that I want to emulate is really me when I'm well rested and well fed, and then all of a sudden now I'm tired and that person is, I can't do this. That's kind of where my brain's going right now. So yeah.
Yes.
Or you are on plan,
Right.
you're eating on plan and you're on track, and then you fall off, or
Right.
and you have that mindset. Yeah.
Or you're eating on plan and you're like, things aren't moving the way I think they should move right now because I've been doing the things. Right? There's a lot of that too. And
yeah.
And the hard part is like just being okay with continuing to do the things, but also looking at, well, is everything really happening? Like, sleep is a huge one, right? A lot of people just kind of disregard how much sleep you get and if you're losing weight. And, if you're doing your workout still at the same level because you're not sleeping, or if you're eating a little different because you're not sleeping, and your body's not recovering in the same way because you're not sleeping. But yeah, I think the plan, right, is to be like, I know what my best self feels like, and to keep getting there and to keep pushing toward that, for sure.
So interesting. I'm still back on what you said in the beginning. Like, what things do I kind of just take for granted that I accept about myself that like I took me all this time to think of too. And like I always I always think of myself as a weight struggler. And with part of the hypnosis meditation has made me start to try to flip that to I'm a weight master. I'm not a weight struggler, or I feel like, oh, I'm the person that like gets close to my goal and then sabotages myself. I never actually get, I get 80%. And then, with the eating, okay, I can do it with fitness, but with the eating, oh, I'm just too compulsive or I'm too upset. I can't control myself around whatever, like, and I think I can control myself now. I'm 56 for God's sakes. I'm not, I can grow up a little bit. I don't know. It's time to fix that.
That's perfect, right? Because, and the other piece of that is whatever you're telling yourself you're reaching toward has to be believable. You have to believe, and now through the hypnosis piece, you have to believe that you're a weight controller, not a weight struggler, right? When you say it to yourself, you actually have to believe it. You have to be like,
I wrote it on my whiteboard. I'm a weight master. And I also wrote that this is not food related, but that I am a master of I'm in control of my schedule instead of like always feeling trapped, like, oh, I have all these things to do today. I can't control it, but the truth is most of it I can control, like the number of things that I can't control or that are given are much smaller than they're not everything in the whole day. And that relates to food too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, this week I've had some foods that aren't even close to fixate plans, but I've still stayed really lean feeling because I'm not doing anything, like I'm not going for extra helpings. I'm not adding in extra things, and I'm making sure I load up the vegetables when I have these other things. Like we had shrimp scampi and I made lasagna on Saturday and things like that, right? But I had a lot of vegetables with them. And when I had my portion that I portioned out, I stopped because I'm like, I'm having this, but it's telling myself I'm totally fine with what I've had. I feel really good about what I've had, and I don't feel the need to have more. And that's because it's not my body being like, I'm hungry. It's my mind being like, you didn't get to have all the things you wanted, or, you know what I mean? So it's telling yourself, I got to have what I wanted. So this book
definitely mindset.
What'd you say?
It says definitely a mindset.
Absolutely, right? I mean, how many times do we sabotage something because we don't think we're the person to do it or we can't do it?
Right.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. So with nutrition struggles, I mean, that was that has been the biggest change, right? Is just figuring out how to change my mindset to not struggle with what I'm doing, right? To not feel like it was restricted, deprived. I don't get to do this. I don't get to have that, or whatever it was, right? Whatever you're telling yourself.
Yeah, like a whole generation, we're all like, oh, you have to be so disciplined to be on a diet. I'm not disciplined or whatever, like you used words like that. I don't have any willpower. Those have kind of slipped out of favor, the discipline and willpower, but it's the same, I feel like I eat out of scarcity too sometimes, like, oh my God, I might never have, I don't know, the next time I'll be able to have this brownie, so I better eat 3, or like instead of this abundance thinking, which is so much better.
So much better. So much better. And Kim and I relate on a lot of food issues with like not feeling like there's enough or you want it more. And that, like, I'm always telling myself, like, you can have this another time. This isn't the last time for this. So you don't have to have the second helping. You don't have to, feel over full. It'll be there again at some point. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
So that was the mindset piece that I wanted to talk about. Just really figuring out what you feel is holding you back. The thing you tell yourself is your thing. And maybe it's like, I like beer too much, or whatever it is, right? Whatever is your thing that you feel like kind of holds you in your place. Figuring out how to switch the mindset and make it believable, make it a small tweak that, just starts the shift. Like if it was, alcohol related, I'll have my drinks on the weekends instead of whenever. Or, and then you kind of learn that it's like you survive the week without it, or you survive a few nights without it, and it's fine. Whatever it is, right? Whatever is holding you there. Make it believable, and then keep kind of building. It's just like the habit stackers, right? Where you change, tweak a little, add a little, tweak a little, add a little. And it's amazing how much you can change your whole mindset. Are you on your Peloton right now?
I was gonna say she's
No,
sitting on it, isn't she?
I'm on a shitty recumbent bike in the hotel.
But you're on a bike.
It sucks. It's really crappy. Fine. Better than nothing.
All right. So do we let's see. I don't think I have a label. Did somebody say they brought a label?
I do.
Oh, you have a label? Okay.
So I have, I eat this often. It's Seeds of Change. It's organic, 7 whole grains. Comes in a package. So I never really read the label, but it is 8.5 ounces, and the serving size is 1 pouch.
So that's a cup-ish. A cup and half an ounce.
That's huge for 1 serving. I would never eat that.
Well, it's 1 serving how they've packaged it, but that serving never has to correlate to anything in the industry. So there's not a standard on serving sizes. They just make it so it seems like what someone could potentially eat, or it works out well with their math on the nutrition label. I mean, the serving size is zero baseline.
So I've read that and I was like, oh my God, can you imagine eating that whole thing? Anyways. Oh. Okay, so ingredients: water, whole grain brown rice, whole grain rye, whole grain barley, whole grain millet, whole grain red bulgur wheat, whole grain quinoa, whole grain wild rice, less than 2% of sunflower oil, turmeric powder, soybean salt, sea salt, cane sugar, dried onion, dried red bell pepper, garlic powder, tapioca starch, soy lecithin, spices, dried parsley, and organic itself. All right. Total fat. Wait a minute. Calories per cup is 220, but per pouch it's 400.
Oh, so that's more than a cup then, because 8 ounces, I guess 8 fluid ounces is a cup. So that's more than a cup.
Oh, net weight is 8.5 ounces.
So it probably just takes up more space. It's not as dense as water.
Yeah. Okay, so total fat is 3 grams, cholesterol 0, sodium 310, total carbs 43, dietary fiber 4 grams, total sugars 1, protein 5.
So when you read that whole list, right? Whole grain, this, whole brown rice, whole millet, quinoa. Yep. It made it sound like it was going to be really great on the whole grains. Yep. Right? But as an FFC or a yellow, it's 4 grams of fiber, it sounded like, to 43 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
So it's just under what you would want for an FFC. Like you'd want a 5 for 43 versus a 4 for 43. So it's right at the edge. It's like right on the line.
Okay.
I would have assumed, honestly, by you reading the ingredients, that it was going to be higher, that the fiber would be higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shocking because I just got this whole grain linguine.
Yeah, those are good. The whole grain pastas do a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I thought it wouldn't be as good as what Robin just said, but this has got 7 grams of fiber and 39 carbs. So that's higher fiber. That one's okay then. Interesting.
So it's not like it's it's just right on the line, right? I wouldn't make it an everyday yellow or FFC. It would be like a sometimes one, like if you're pressed for time, if whatever's happening. But you want something with more fiber, because it just helps you last a little longer through the day. It gives you more stuff to digest, and it's slower digestion so that, you stay full longer.
Robin, how much protein was in that? Did it have protein?
No. Oh yeah, 5.
Interesting.
Is that the one from Costco, the seeds of change from Costco?
I got it at my local grocery store.
What's it look like again?
It's the ones that are already pre-made. Do they have those at Costco? Because they have the seeds of change, I think, that are dried still. The quinoa.
No, yeah. So I have one of those, but it's different. Mine is like brown rice and quinoa, I think. I have to go look.
We'll follow Lily through the condo.
I gotta remember. Oh yeah. Let me move the booze out of the way. Yeah, so organic
Oh yeah, I've had that
brown
one too.
rice
Yeah.
and quinoa.
All right.
So
what's
what
back
does
here?
that label say, Lily?
What was that?
What is that label?
That it's just seeds of change.
Yeah.
So this one is, wait, my kids are playing on their games. This one is, I have 2 of them. It's 1 pouch size, 410 calories for the whole pouch, 240 per cup. So for 1 cup, total fat is 3.5 grams. The sodium is 447 carbs, 3 fiber, so it's even worse, and 6 grams of protein.
So you get a little more protein, a little less fiber.
Yeah. Is it, so I would assume because it's quinoa and brown rice, it's not going to have as much fiber. Does quinoa not have as much fiber then?
Brown rice doesn't have as much fiber as quinoa. I
Oh.
believe. I could be wrong,
Oh, gotcha.
but I think brown rice has a little less. It's obviously got more than white rice. White rice doesn't have any, but
Yeah.
I think that's kind of lower on the scale.
I also have, I thought we'd gone over this one before. Have we gone over that one before?
I don't think so. No, I don't remember that one.
So this is lentils, and usually what I do is I mix them. So like half of this and half of the lentils, and then I put like chicken, like the shredded chicken from Costco in there, or steak or whatever meat I have. Ground turkey also works really well. And then I usually add whatever baked veggies I've done for the week in it. So I add veggies to it. But so this one is Madras Lentils, and it's 290 calories for the entire pouch. The serving size is 2/3 cup. So for per serving, it's 6 grams of fat, 460 sodium, 17 carbs, 6 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein.
Yeah, so that's really good.
So it's much better.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that lentils are a good bean, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Bean
they're a legume too.
protein. Yeah. So
So I grabbed
Yeah,
my
so-
brown rice when you were,
Yeah,
you were,
here's the thing.
only 2 grams of fiber.
Okay, that's what I thought. I feel like I just looked that up or read it not that long ago.
Yeah, 33 carbs was 2 grams of fiber.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not very good.
4 grams of protein.
I need to look up, I really like Freeka. I need to look up what that one is.
What is it?
Freeka. I
What's
don't,
that?
it's an ancient grain. But I really like it. It's not as big as rice, but it's not like as small as a couscous. And it's got an interesting kind of grassy kind of flavor to it. I don't know. My husband says it tastes like hay. I like it. So
You know what this
Have
is?
to try it.
This is actually the better, I think, than the rice. And
Yeah.
I never would have thought that.
yeah, it's just with whole wheat flour, they can really grind up a lot of the bran fiber piece of the
Mm.
wheat in it. But I really noticed it too, especially when Autumn put up that recipe for the beef macaroni, which we're having again tonight. Like we're gonna be hamburger helpered out here. And that's what we call it. Jack's just all, can we have hamburger helper?
Really good.
And but it's like that whole wheat pasta really is a decent FFC or yellow. And I was pretty surprised by it too, because I hadn't been doing a lot of it. And most of the time these guys balk at it anyway, acting like it's too different a texture. But I find like I don't feel like I can tell the difference very much in that Autumn recipe with the elbow macaroni. So it's been kind of a nice surprise.
I like all the new kinds of pasta that they've come up with, the lentil and there's so many different kinds, and they're good now. They're
Yeah.
not, I remember trying them for the first time, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is like chewy or slimy or just, not pasta at
Yeah.
all. And now a lot of times you can't even tell.
Yeah, they're good. And I find with any of the bean pastas, like I feel really full with them. I don't know if they expand in your stomach or what happens, but it's like I'm more full with those. It's like later on, I don't know.
The only thing I found with the lentil pasta is that it's still super dry, kind of like lentils are, and the first time I tried it, I wasn't crazy about it, but I think if I had put it with a marinara sauce or some kind of sauce, I would have been a lot better. I kind of used it in a pasta salad and there just wasn't enough liquid.
Mm.
But they held together. Like you said, the texture was good, which used to be the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to fall apart.
Yeah, you cook it just a second too long, you'd have like this weird push and yeah.
I know now I can swap things out and my family doesn't even know, they don't even notice.
Exactly. Well, are there any questions anybody has or anything you want to talk about? With anything?
Jess asked if anybody tried the lime juice on the grapes.
Oh,
No.
not.
Somebody did. I think
Yes,
Jen
somebody-
did.
Jen did, yeah. She
Oh,
said
she
it was
did.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Jen Arias, right?
Yeah.
You know what though? I actually did buy limes and grapes today. So maybe I'll test that out tomorrow. I had a whole banana today, so I'm out of fruit, but tomorrow I will check that out.
Awesome.
Lily, are you still
So-
in Hawaii?
Yeah,
That was-
we were supposed to go home today.
okay.
Did you extend it again?
Do you have power at home?
Oh yeah, but
Okay.
it's pouring rain and just nasty and like 40 degrees there. So why would I want to go home?
It's
Right.
cold and wet for the next 10 days. Just don't even come back.
Yeah, just stay
I
there.
know. Well, I wish. I'm gonna run out of points at some point. So, then I have to pay. So I don't want to. So yeah, it's yeah, we decided to stick around a little bit longer.
Very good. Well, if we don't have any more nutrition questions too, I can quit the recording here.